We're waiting for more details. We have a crew on the way to the scene, Leland, but the Tennessee Highway Patrol is reporting 3 persons have died as a result of a crash here north of Millersville. I-65 northbound is completely shut down. The crash is around mile marker 102, which puts it between Louisville Highway and Bethel Road. You see marked in purple the section of 65 northbound that is closed right now to traffic. Traffic being detoured to Louisville Highway up to Bethel Road to get around that. We're getting reports from viewers who have come past this as saying it is a horrific scene and that traffic here on the southbound side of 65 is extremely slow. Had a question for someone coming from the north side wanting to get to Hendersonville. I would suggest you get off the interstate at White House, take 258 down to Hendersonville and avoid this area entirely because it is fairly jammed up. Because of the fatalities, there will be an extensive investigation. We expect these lanes of northbound I-65 north of Millersville there to be shut down until at least 10 o'clock this morning. Other crashes around the area have also tied traffic in small areas. A personal injury crash, a 12-year-old girl struck by a car well over an hour ago, Murfreesboro Pike at Ransom Place on the south side. They're still trying to clear that scene. Injury crash not completely cleared on Chestnut Street at 4th Avenue South as well. So a busy morning on the roadways. Please watch out and be extra careful in these trouble spots as we've mentioned them. That's 5 Live Traffic. 7:03 is our time right now. With the news, here are Steve and Amy.
All right, Dave, thanks. And we continue to follow more breaking news this morning out of West Nashville. Firefighters were battling a major house fire for several hours this morning. News Channel 5's Matthew Torres is live for us on Fleetwood Drive just off Charlotte Pike. Matthew, that fire is so big you could see it all the way up on I-40, I guess, which is up past the West Nashville shopping development.
Yeah, without a doubt. In fact, firefighters are still here. It looks like they've got it under control. The good news is the residents are safe this morning. With me is actually Crystal Atkinson. I spoke to you earlier as far as what you saw, what you heard. This was around 5 a.m. What did you experience?
I heard a lot of sirens, and then it sounded like they went past us. So I didn't think too much of it, and then I heard what sounded to me like gunshots. And we were laying in bed, and it sounded just like a war zone. So my husband got up, and he saw that the sky just looked orange, and we went out into the backyard and saw that the house was on fire. And
you live next door. This is actually the first time you're meeting the resident. How is she doing?
She's pretty devastated. She had a lot of pets inside, so she's really worried about them right now. That's her main focus, but she doesn't have a lot of family here anymore, so she's lived in this house for a long time, and she's...
Crystal, I will say, I've seen several neighbors come in and out here just consoling the neighbor, even some bringing blankets. What do you think just about as far as the community support already, just within minutes of people showing up?
I mean, I think that's a lot about, that's what you get in Tennessee. Nashville's growing like crazy, but we're still going to be... Our roots are a small town, so people always come together whenever there's any sort of catastrophe like this. But it's kind of a shame that this is what has to happen to bring people together.
Crystal, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Again, the cause is still under investigation this morning. It'll be quite some time before this is completely done. For now, we're reporting live in West Nashville. Matthew Torres, News Channel 5.
Thank you, Matthew. The man wanted for a shooting in Clarksville is behind bars this morning. Police say Dante Walden turned himself in yesterday, just hours after we showed you his photo. Walden is accused of shooting a man on College Street early Saturday morning. The victim was taken to the hospital, but is expected to survive.
A gun-wielding robber is on the run this morning in Hendersonville. Police say the guy robbed the clerk at the Sherwin-Williams on West Main Street just before 6:30 last night. We're told he tried to hide his identity by covering his face with bandages. Police think that robber fled in a silver mid-sized vehicle. If you have any information, there's a picture of the car. Call the Hendersonville Crime Stoppers number 615-573-5400. One suspect is behind bars, another one still on the run after a violent robbery in Springfield. Police arresting Dontarius Long for armed robbery. The 20-year-old and an underage teen are accused of jumping a guy at Cedar Hill Park Sunday night. They allegedly put a gun to the victim's head and assaulted him before stealing nearly $500 out of the guy's wallet. Police are still trying to track down that teenage accomplice.
Happening today, opening statements begin in the $75 million civil suit between Aaron Andrews and the Nashville Marriott. Jury selection wrapped up yesterday. The jury will have to determine two things. First, if the Nashville Marriott Hotel at Vanderbilt and their owners are responsible for letting a stalker find out where Andrews was staying? And second, did they knowingly allow him to book the room next to hers? David Barrett, the man convicted of stalking and filming Erin Andrews changing clothes in 2008, and was sentenced to 30 months in prison.
Head coaches at the University of Tennessee are coming together this morning for a rare joint press conference. It's exactly 2 weeks after several women filed a federal lawsuit accusing the school of mishandling sexual assault complaints lobbied against student athletes. Football coach Butch Jones will be among the 16 head coaches taking part in this morning's press conference. It's unclear if they're going to address that lawsuit specifically. It is set for 9 o'clock. You can look for updates on our app and on our Facebook page. And of course, we'll have the very latest for you this afternoon as well.
The Rutherford County government could soon get even bigger. The county is planning to add a new department to handle its probation program. The move comes after the county and its current private probation company, PCC, were hit with a lawsuit claiming the program targeted the poor with unreasonable fees. The mayor unveiled his plan last night, which includes 19 staff members and a $1.3 million yearly budget. The Public Safety Committee passed it, but some are worried that adding the new department will be too much for the county.
I'm very concerned that the new department's not going to be able to be self-sufficient. Other counties that have in-house departments that are our size end up subsidizing it with taxpayer dollars.
The entire commission could vote on the mayor's plan as soon as March 17th, which means the new department would only have 2 weeks to get up and running. The county's contract with its current probation company ends March 31st.